was asked to talk about innovation in 9 minutes, which is quite difficult for me because I like to elaborate a lot, so I'm going really, really fast. Any questions you would have, we can ask them in the panel discussion later on with Peter. First thing we have to set straight about innovation is that it is something different than what many people think. I'll elaborate on that. You can make it very complex, you can make it very simple. My assumption is that as long as I can explain it to my 5 kids, whatever daddy is doing, then I'm on the right track. So this is where me and my family live. This is the epicenter of horticultural food production in Europe. Close to the Westland area, it's a large area of greenhouses, high intensity food production. And this is what's going on inside those greenhouses. These greenhouses mainly contain tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, and they're exported in a radius about 1,000, 1,500 kilometers around Holland to consumers. It's a very advanced way of producing vegetables. As a comparison, you see on the left, you see a field of tomatoes as they are produced in the open. On the right, you will see tomatoes produced in an average greenhouse system. If you make a comparison between the open field tomatoes and the greenhouse, the open field will yield you about 40 kilos per square meter per year, as opposed to the greenhouse, which goes up to 80 kilos per square meter per year. The left one, the open field plants, lose about 3 liters of water per day. The plants in the greenhouse use a little above half a liter per plant per day. It's a huge difference in resource consumption. So you can imagine which one will be more sustainable. This is a map where you can see the arable land as we humans have cultivated it across the globe. All the yellow spots have been taken from nature and being cultivated into food production land or grazing ground for cattle. We are depleting the Earth's resources, as you know. This is a picture of Australia, completely desertified, used to over-cultivation of fertile ground. There are solutions. I'm not pretending I can solve the world's food challenges. I can only pretend that we, with our solutions, can contribute within our domain of horticulture. Horticulture is exactly very similar actually to the way we have urbanized. Close to the urban areas, that's where the largest demand of food obviously is. And that's where we, with our production systems, come at hand, because we're very flexible, almost independent of location. This is a way how many people think the food problem of urban areas can be solved. And there's nothing wrong with this. This is very applaudable actually, that people start using vacant lots to produce their own food. It's a safe and sustainable matter for them. However, it will never meet up to the food demand such a metro area will have. They should not go away, they should stay, to be clear on that. This is a comparable approach, yet much more effective. This is a greenhouse in the downtown area of Montreal. The greenhouse produces several kinds of vegetables for the local market. People take a subscription basically to the a weekly provision of vegetables. I'll get back to this type of greenhouse because it's exactly the type of greenhouse used in a large-scale commercial operation in Southern California. It's a new type of a Dutch greenhouse which produces almost 100 kilos of tomatoes per square meter per year. This is what's inside, and this is exactly what's making the difference. The greenhouse works under overpressure. His Excellency Mr. Langenberg just mentioned that the overpressure makes the grower more in control of the climate. So he has control of humidity, of CO2 levels, and of temperature much better than in the traditional greenhouse. This may sound far away, but actually very close, because this picture is right around the corner in Dubrovnik at Ocean Orchids with exactly the same type of greenhouse. I'll make a brief switch to light and a solution that Philips has come up with. Probably for the most people in the room, I shouldn't explain on photosynthesis, but this is what it does. And this is the misconception of photosynthesis. Not any light spectrum fired on a plant will lead to photosynthesis. The human eye sees light, the plant sees a specific spectrum. When you fire more blue light towards a plant, you will induce vegetative growth. The plant will make more volume. With red and far red lights on the other side of the spectrum, you will induce flowering and fruit settings. So you can more control the crop. What this will do, this will change the business model. Now we get to the innovation part of it. Basically, we take something existent, light. We take something existent, which is lighting plants in greenhouses. Philips was involved in selling the lights, the bulbs, into those greenhouses. But they have converted it now into selling a light recipe. Because every crop, be it a tomato or cucumber, has a different demand for a light spectrum. So you can influence the productivity of the crop. You can influence and change the business model. We no longer sell lights, we sell yield. We make a guarantee on a certain outcome per kilo per year for growers. Complete different proposition. This is from light what you used to see when you flew into Amsterdam. This is what you will see more and more. It's a different kind. It's not the high intensity sodium lamps you saw in the picture before. These are LEDs with exactly the light spectrum the plant needs. This is what's on the inside. This is what you will see in the future, a closed box. You will not be able to see through. This is what's happening on the inside. It's a completely controlled environment where the grower has full control of all the aspects influencing plant growth. Nature's influence from the outside is nearly eliminated. That makes these operations completely independent from any location. A professor from Arizona has developed a comparable model to be connected to the International Space Station even. This is what's happening on the inside. On the lettuce you see here in the picture, the production time was reduced from 90 days till 22 days. We had a side effect when studying light. We saw that we would influence plant compounds. When firing a certain light spectrum on tomatoes, we saw increases on vitamin C levels, nearly doubling. We saw increases on lycopene and several other compounds. We studied 96 cultivars, and throughout the line you see a spectrum of compounds that can be used in food formulations, in pharmaceutical industries, anywhere across the line. It's a new business proposition actually for the horticultural industry to the world. However, it's not so new, because we've known for many years that vitamin C is there in tomatoes. It's just a different proposition. DSM owns Fruit Flow, which is a soluble concentrate which contains an extract from tomatoes and can be used in formulations of food. Another example is stevia. It's a sweetener. And sweetener is a complete different angle. The soda industry had a selling proposition on the health benefits of their drinks. You could not start getting your baby Coke at an early enough stage. However, they realized that there was a downside to it later on. They tried to compensate with public relation campaigns, making you aware of the dangers of consuming sugars. But now they've started to realize that they have to change their formulations. And this is what will happen to the world. Changing formulations based in horticultural production systems like these all over the world, producing food and compounds for the way we eat. So thank you for your attention, and I'll be happy to answer any questions later on.
Haley, we are quite well on time. Thank you very much.
Thank
but
you.
I have one question for you. We have 30 seconds. Now, there's this, big movement in Slovenia that advertises the traditional way of farming. Mm-hmm. It should taste better and it should be healthier. I just read an interview with a very prominent biologist. She says those from the plants, they do not touch the earth at all.
She was right. She was right, probably, because it can be hydroponic systems, several kinds of systems where there's no earth whatsoever involved. However, the taste is equal, even better, when produced in a greenhouse system.
How about health? Is it healthy? Is it healthier or less healthy?
Same thing. It can be healthier if produced under the right protocols.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.